All right, I want to give a huge shout out to otbdiscs.com. They are today's sponsor of this video. It was a perfect sponsor for the video because they have every disc you guys could want or need. Anything that was featured in this video, they have available. They restock their site every day, and any order you put in, they get it out that exact same day. They're not gonna ship you a little puppy, but they will have any disc that you need. So go to otbdiscs.com and get you some Discraft discs.
What's up everyone? This is going to be my 2022 in the bag, but it's not just an in the bag. This is all of the discs that I carry with me on tour. So I guess you're looking at this and thinking it should probably be called what's in my 4 bags. So we'll just start with the bags, but I really wanted to show you guys something that you probably haven't even thought about is, yes, we have our go-to in the bag, but we switch discs in and out of our bags depending on the types of terrain and elevation and courses that we go to. So all of these discs today I'm gonna show you are either backups in case I lose discs or discs that kind of come in and out. I'll start with the bag that I'm going to have most of the time, but like I said, these will come in and out. First and foremost, I'm using the CX series unless it's a course where I need a lot more discs. In that case, I'll go up to the BX series, one of these 2 bags. So in this bag, I have 2 putters as always. A lot of people ask me, how many times do you switch out putters? For me, I do it once a year. I have, in my collector's room, I only collect actually putters that I've used. So every year I retire the set and take a new set. So this is the new set for 2022 you'll be seeing. I think the green one is the one I'm gonna be relying on most of the time. And then the blue will be, if I miss, this is gonna just be for tap-ins and stuff like that. Or if I lose one in the water, I have 2. Then for throwing putters, I have 2 Fierces. This is Crystal Fierce. I'm throwing these on Anheuser turnovers or slowly drifting shots. The Crystal Fierce was the first plastic we made the Fierce available in. This was actually the first one that I loved, and it's so cool that, or this is from the very first shipment I got. So it's cool to have that many reps in with it and feel so confident. So yeah, this one I'm throwing if it's a wide open approach and I just am standstill, I throw this one. Or like I said, if I need that Anheuser slow drift over to the right. This one is an Esp Swirl Fierce. This is the 991 commemorative version. We also had a 996. I like this little corner stamp here, so I chose these ones, but they fly the same, honestly. I love this shot for slow hyzering shots. They don't hyzer super hard, but they do have a nice hyzer finish. And if it's a little bit windy, instead of the Crystal Fierce, I'll go to this Esp Swirl one. All right, moving on to the mid-ranges. I'm throwing 2 that are slower, a Zone and a Soul. These do completely different things. They're both speed 4, but the Zone you guys probably know and love. If you're here and you're a Discraft fan, it's probably our most popular disc. It's just, for me, it's about a 250-foot shot and then a dump to the left. No question, it's going to finish left, and it's also good for sidearm approaches. Or if I have a scramble shot that I need to go sidearm Annie, I know it's gonna hold that Annie for a second, but still dump back to the right. The other speed 4 that I have is the Soul. This was actually the first disc that I grabbed in the Discraft warehouse, and I was like, wow, I love the way this disc feels. It feels so small. It feels like it's meant to just drift and glide. And Bob said that he didn't think I was gonna like it because it was flippy, but I actually was exactly what I was looking for, was something slow and flippy, because this is such a disc that you need, is something that is reliably gonna go to the right, so that if your sidearm isn't there, if you don't want that skip play, you just want a drifting Anheuser, this is definitely the disc for it. I couldn't recommend this disc any more. Beginner, intermediate, pro, seriously try this disc out. Next up in the mid-ranges are my buzzes. I have 2 that are older. These are both from the same friend, Dave, shout out, you're the man. This is a 2004 Masters Cup buzz. You guys have probably seen me get some eagles with this on coverage. I love this disc. It is my most flippy version of my buzz in my bag. As you can see, it's an older one, it's beat in, and I love that reliable fade to the right.
Or a birdie look to try to extend her lead.
Next up is my straight buzz. This is a second first run, and it's just dead straight. I mean, any which way I put it, it's going to fly on that angle, but if I throw it flat, it won't go right or left. It just goes dead straight.
bunker. Not a good little tree hit. Perfect tree hit to give herself just outside.
And last up on the buzz slots is my 2020 Tour Series disc, the Paige Pierce Buzz for 2020. These are the most stable buzz that I have thrown, and I love the way it came out. So these are when I want to throw it flat, like that pink one, but I want it to hyzer out at the end. This is what I'm going with. I can also put it out wide on a hyzer and know it's going to drift over to the left. Last up on the mid-ranges, this is actually a new addition to the bag, but it is going to make the bag for the 2022 season. This is an old school Wasp. I got it at a shop around Pensacola that sells old school discs, and I'm definitely going to be looking for more of these. It's kind of got that fingerprinty feel, and it's honestly such a great compliment to that 2020 Pierce Buzz because it will go pretty much the same line, but I can rip on it twice as hard without it wanting to kind of give in a little bit. It'll just always cut to the left. And this is gonna be very handy in Las Vegas, Dynamic Disc Open, Worlds, any course with a lot of wind. I think I'm gonna be pulling this out, and this is gonna be a great addition to my bag going into this year. Let's see, my next one is my favorite one, I think, and I haven't done it in the bag since I had the Passion in the bag. So I'm excited to talk to you guys about this. If you haven't seen my behind the disc of the Passion, check that out. You can see exactly what went into this disc being made. But this is my newest release with Discraft. It is called the Passion. It's a Speed 8 fairway driver that is very neutral flying. And for me, it flies like a Buzz, but a little bit longer. I actually did a video with Ezra Adderhold a few months ago, and he's throwing these farther than his nukes, which is amazing. The glide and the neutral flight really helps you get some distance because you can flip this up on a hyzer flip release and it'll just flip up and glide forever. This is my most understable, my most beat-in one. Then I have the next step up. This one's starting to get beat in. It's kind of starting to overlap. This one might come out of my bag soon, or it might replace this slot. I think I only need to have 3 in my bag, but right now I'm really liking the 4 of these. Yeah, this one I can, if I put on that same angle, it'll flip up to flat, but it won't drift over to the right as that one will. Right now, I think that, you know, in the first part of the season, this is the disc you're gonna see me relying on the most. This is my favorite Passion in my bag right now. I just put it in, that first runs just came out, and it's flying super, super straight for me. I can put it dead flat and it stays flat. If I put it on a hyzer, it wants to flip up to flat, but it won't quite get there, and it just rides forever. I love, love, love this one. And lastly is my Glow Passion. This is the one I pick when I want a little bit of hyzer finish. I can put a little bit more torque on it and it will hold that hyzer.
I think I want there to be a Sarah Hokum like post-shot commentary like stitch.
2 more fairway drivers. One is the Raptor. This one is known and loved by all Discraft throwers. It's our version of the 9-speed that is just the reliable, overstable. I throw this on sidearms when I want some skip. I throw this on backhand high hyzers or low shots that really get a lot of skip. I love that shot. And then a Crush. This is an old school disc, but Nate Heinel with Ledgestone brought it back this year, and I saw it and I grabbed a stack of backups. This is a go-to for me. It's a speed 11, so it's a little bit faster than the Raptor. So for me, it's flying like a beat-in Raptor that goes a little bit farther. So if I want a slightly straighter version of a Raptor, this is what I'm going for. And last up is my Zeus Collection. These are the 3 that I actually threw last year too, and they're staying in the bag. For me, the longer the Zeus is in the bag, the better. As they get more seasoned, they stay durable, and these are flying even better than they were from the beginning. So this first one in order of stability is my flip up one. I throw this on a hyzer and it flips up to flat and will drift over, or if I want a long and hyzer, I'm relying on this one.
Yeah, especially with, I mean, just look how calm it is.
Yeah.
It was really hot. Even
Very
though
humid.
It doesn't look like it, but it was like 94 degrees.
This is probably my most used Zeus. You've seen I've thrown it so much that the stamp's coming off. The stamp actually used to be rainbow, so the rainbow color came off, and now the whole stamp itself's coming off. I throw this disc so much. You guys have probably seen it fly a lot. I'm throwing this on my strongest shot I could ever imagine. I'm throwing, and it will turn, but every time it comes back hyzer. This thing hasn't rolled over on me once, but it gets that full flight out of it, and I'm loving it. This black one, the stamp color is also fading on this one. I've had this one for a while. It's got a beautiful little pink tint in there. This one is my most stable version. So if I'm going big spike hyzer that I don't want it to get up to flat at all, if it's strong headwind, this is what I'm throwing. And yeah, if I don't want even a chance for it to get flat, this is the one.
Crazy how much hyzer she put on that thing. Wow.
So that does it for my in the bag, but like I said, let me quickly take you through some of these other discs that will make appearances here and there and tell you exactly why and when that happens. I keep these other bags full while I'm in the van. That way I know that these are my complete backups. Say I lose this buzz right here, I know, okay, this is the buzz I'm replacing it with. So these are ones that I have beat in. I know what they fly like, so that if I lose one, I can go straight to it. So these are all of the same molds. These aren't like, in here I have like Avenger SS, you know, other molds that I might put in for different shot shapes. These are all the same molds I just showed you, but ones that I've already beat in and I know and love. Also, let me just shout out these real quick. I'm working in some older buzzes to replace those. Hopefully I never have to, but I'm loving the way these older buzzes are flying in case I lose those big time money makers right there. I have a few more too I want to show you guys. I reached out on the Facebook page, the Discraft Facebook page, and I got so many sweet old school buzzes from all of you. So thank you so much for helping me out. These, even if you haven't seen them in the bag yet, I promise I'm working them in, and if and when I lose these, I will be replacing them. So yeah, these are a lot of discs that I'm just trying to get more and more reps in. So when I do have to switch, I feel confident still. I literally have everything: backup putters, backup Crystal Fierces, backup ESP Fierces, everything. And the one thing that's different in here is the Esp Stalker. This is another one of my signature discs, and you probably noticed I didn't have it in my bag right now, but this is a shot where I do put in on some occasions. It's kind of right in between the Buzz and the Passion. It flies more like my 2020 Tour Series Buzz than it does the Passion, but because it goes straight and then left, the Passion just kind of wants to stay straight. So if I ever need like a Passion that has a little bit more hyzer, or the Glow Passion has a little bit too much hyzer, I'll put this into the slot. That's such a small gap though, so for me, these mostly stay in the backup bag. Now we got this little baby bag here. This one is full of Fierces. This is just putting putters. If I want to go out to, let's say I want to walk into the woods and find a secluded basket to just get putting practice, I'll just grab this little bag plus my two that I'm already putting with, and I'll just take this into the woods, grab my phone, put on some music, and just putt. And this has, I think, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 putters in it. So I'm getting, you know, if I putt them all 10 times, I got 100 putts in that day, and it's just super quick. Usually I'll put that, like I said, I put my phone on a playlist, and my playlist is 45 minutes, and I'll just putt until that's over, basically. All right, and then the last bag I have, this one I don't pull out too often, or at least these discs I don't pull out too often. These are just the discs that are new to me that I am working on. So I just got all these Captain's Raptors. These things are super sweet, very overstable, very reliable. So these aren't necessarily not gonna make the bag, but I don't know them well enough yet. So new discs that I'm working with, if I ever get to do some field work on an off day, this is the bag that comes out with me so I can learn these more and more and start to implement them into my actual backups. So last but not least, the actual backups. Oh, sorry, Torben. So we'll start with the putters. This entire bin is Fierces. So we have at all times, I know this seems like a lot of discs, especially when you're living in a van and you're trying to be minimal, but the worst thing that can happen is you're out on the road, you're playing a water course, and you lose. I mean, at Maple Hill last year, I lost 5 soles within, 4 practice rounds and 3 rounds of the tournament. I lost 5 soles. So then the next tournament, I had to go to a local pro shop and get soles. So I've told myself I'm gonna carry at least 5 backups of every single mold I throw, and that's not just the mold, that's the plastic too. So 5 Crystal Fierces, 5 ESP Fierces, 5, everything. So I have a bunch of Esp Swirl Fierces here. And again, you guys are gonna see I have different wears. So this one's brand new, but this one's used. I've aced with it. So that way I know if I need a new one, I need it to be super stable, I can just grab a new one. But if I want one that's slightly beat in, I'll grab that. Same thing with the Crystal Fierces. I got some beauties here, used ones, new ones, and then yeah, just different variations. I got some of the 2020 Women's National Championship ones. I got some of the Crystal Flex ones from the documentary. This is actually the most stable version of Fierce that I've seen. We had these on my website. It's also a Crystal Fierce, but they came out a lot more stiff than the Player of the Year ones. And yeah, so if you see these on my website or any of these PP stamped ones and you're looking for a stable Fierce, this is what I would recommend. I grab this if I really need a stable throwing putter, either this or my Missy Gannon Challenger SS. This is Esp Swirl as well. She gave this to me last year at Vegas because my Fierces were flipping up a little bit too much in the wind. I think it was like 30-mile-an-hour wind. So she gave me this, and this was a lifesaver. So I always have this in here just in case it gets too windy for the Fierces. And then, yeah, I got some Big Z ones, some Tour Series ones, some of the ones that we made for Ledgestone, and literally any version of Fierce, I have it because I've gone through and know them all so much. All right, next up is the zones and soles. I really like, I'll grab this one too. I really like the zones that aren't in the premium plastic because they're not as stable. And for me, I'm not ripping on zones hard enough to want the most stable version of the zone. All of the zones that I have are gonna go left anyway. And so I really like this one's Jawbreaker plastic, this one's also Jawbreaker, and then this one's just a really old school beat-in ESP. Now for the soles, I actually have lots of different types. I'm kind of working all of these in. Right now I'm really liking the Z, but I also have ESP Glow and Titanium Swirl that we made with OTB discs. So I have all of these versions in here and I'm trying to work through all of them and find the minute differences. After that, we got one Rift in here. This is my good friend Noah Meitzma. He gave me his signature series Rift. This is awesome. It's kind of right in between a Soul and a Buzz. Sometimes if I need that shot, I'll grab this and put it in the bag. I actually haven't relied on it in tournament situations yet, but I'm loving practicing with it and finding out the differences. But yeah, it's really nice. I would recommend trying this if you like the Buzz and you just want to try something similar. It's really sweet. So yeah, lots of Paige Pierce Buzzes. I'm not going to show you all my discs. We'll be here all day, but I just want to show you a couple of the cool ones. And then I got some backup Raptors. This is something that I go through quite often because I want them to be a certain stability. Like I said with the zone, I don't want them to be too overstable. Maybe on occasion I'll put that Captain's Raptor in when it's really windy, but for me, I like the Raptor to be a little bit more beaten and straight. So I'm actually grabbing these quite often and trying to break them in. And I have a couple backup Raptors in this bag as well that I like to try to break in. You'll probably see this Peach one out on tour this year as well. And sometimes I bust out this ESP one. This is an older one. I put both of those in the bag quite often. Next up's the Undertaker. I love this one. I specifically like these green ones with the sparkles in them. You can see this one's so seasoned. This was one of my go-tos before I got the Passion. And now since it's so seasoned, it's flying like a Passion. So for me, I put it in the backups. If I lose one of my favorite Passions, I'll actually probably replace it with this just in that tournament until I beat a Passion in how I want it. But yeah, this one's flying almost like a Passion because it's so beat in. But yeah, I also have some new ones that are still stable. This is just a step up from the Glow Passion. This is in between the Glow Passion and the Raptor for me. All right, and other than that, this last part of this bin is all Zeus's. It's really the only driver that I throw mostly. I put the nuke in my bag, ESP nuke, when I want something super overstable or super long distance, maybe at the OTB Open, maybe at Dynamic Disc Open, where it's more open and there's not as much OD. But for the most part, I'm throwing the Zeus for my driver, and I have so many in here. This one you will see on the road. This was one that I know and love super well. I throw it very often. It's nice little flip up to flat and it still hyzers out. And then I have some that are lighter weight that I've been working with, 166 grams, and they're super domey and pop top. Just trying to get as much distance as I can out of these. But yeah, so lots of Zeus backups. I think this is super important. And the point of me showing you guys this is it's something that doesn't get seen very often, is when we leave Vegas and then our next tournament is Texas State's. Those are completely different courses. We're going from wide open ball golf course in the wind to super tight par fives in the woods. And when we get there, it's really funny sight to see is all the vans pull into the parking lot. We open our back doors and we're all scrambling, putting new discs in, and we kind of walk over to each other and we're like, oh, what are you putting in? And it's something that I just realized that you guys probably have never even seen. So this is a common occurrence. These 3 bins are out on the ground right behind the van, and I'm kind of putting stuff in and out. So I thought this would be a cool addition to an in the bag. All right, the last bin, this is the bin I reach in the most, I think, just because this has a different shot shape. So this is my bin that I keep my roller discs in. So Avenger SS, Heat, and these are discs that I put in my bag when I want to throw rollers. So on certain courses, OTB Open, the Memorial Layout, I'll reach for these. So I don't have them in my backup bag, but I know exactly where they are in here. I only use them on occasion, but I really love rolling these discs. You really don't have to try. It's just put it down on the ground and it's gonna roll for you no matter what. It's pretty much foolproof. And then in the rest of this bin, I have 4 stalkers that I see. These were the first stalkers that I got, so they are very beat in. I actually got an ace on camera at the Avocado Open footage with this one. So I know and love this one, so I might put these in and out on occasion. But then the rest of this bin from here back is all passions. So I got some glow ones. These are good just to have for that overstable passion slot, and then lots of ESP swirl ones. Oh, and I got a couple more crushes back here. So, all right, so that does it for all of my in the bags and also in my backups. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this was useful for you. If you learned anything, I know you just want to see what I'm throwing, but if you learned anything, I hope that it is get to know your backups as well, because you never know when you're going to need them. Even if you think, oh, this is my baby, I'm going to rely on this, you need to know your backups as well. So yeah, hopefully that was a good lesson for you guys. Hopefully a little bit of an insight into what goes on the Monday after a tournament is the reshuffling of pros bags. So hope you enjoyed, and I hope you guys get to see lots of these shots. Get me some sweet birdies and eagles. Comment below what your favorite shot is in my bag and which one you think I should rely on in 2022. And thank you all for watching. Thank you to my Patreons, and go throw Discraft.